Oh,
I love her. I love
do
her.
too.
But she had a little faux pas at the New Year's Eve, rockin' New Year's Eve. Did you see the performance?
I heard of the performance.
Okay. Well, she was in New York, Times Square, and evidently her mic wasn't working. Everything was off, like completely off. And she was very upset by this whole thing. But later on, the more I read about it, she didn't even show up for rehearsal. She basically put a stand-in for her for rehearsal time. And she was saying how it was the company and it was the network that tried to, set her up. Ay, ay, ay.
Wow.
Did you see it, Darlene?
Mariah?
I saw part of it. And coming from New York, I love Mariah. I
Me
think she's
too.
just full of talent. I just think it goes with the territory when you're that big of a star that you're extreme, you're eccentric, and
And you have to make sure. I mean, could you just step in after your fashion show? Could you just show up at 10, when the show's ready to start at 10 o'clock and say, okay, let's go? No, you have to be there for the whole production and the rehearsal part. And right?
Absolutely.
You just
Yeah.
can't throw it out there.
Can't
I mean,
blame it
she
on
is
somebody else,
Mariah.
right.
Oy vey, I love her.
I do too.
I love her, and I love how she lounges around her house on her beautiful couch with $80 million that she got from her new British husband. That basically, it's not even her husband. I'm sorry. This was her fiance. That his manager threw her off the yacht and broke up the marriage because they said she was such a gold digger. Oh my God!
She has billions and billions
Right.
of dollars. How can someone say she's a gold digger? I mean, come
Look,
on.
it is what it is.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
true.
her no matter what. And I love it that just love the fact that she just lounges there and everybody just curtails to every need she has. I love her. And let me ask you, Diane, do you watch The Bachelor?
Darlene,
Darling, what did I call you?
Diane.
Oh, Diane, I'm sorry.
I don't.
Michael,
Actually, I watched it a couple of times.
thank goodness.
A couple. Not many, but a couple.
All right. Well, Monday it was on the premiere show, and Nick, his name is, I guess it's Nick Viall.
Okay.
I don't know. It's pronounced Viall, but they all say it's Vial. I guess anyway.
Let it out. Come on.
Sorry.
Let it out.
You should have seen what happened to me and Layla last week. I got so hysterical. Anyway, he was on Jimmy Kimmel with his two exes. This is his fourth time trying to find love, right?
Wow.
And the two exes are Andy and Caitlin. Well, my goodness, I haven't seen them in about a year. The plastic surgery that they both had, they don't even look like the same girls anymore.
Wow.
Really unbelievable. Really just unbelievable. I could not believe how different they looked. Anyway, speaking about not anyone looking like themselves, who knows Jay Wow from Jersey Shore?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Mum's the word.
Are you not reality
I know
people?
who she is.
Ay,
Yeah.
ay,
I don't
ay.
know.
Anyway, she's another one who looks like a brand new, shiny new person. She had so much work done. Cheeks, jaw, everything. She's had everything done. I love her too, though.
No,
All right.
she's the one who got into all the trouble, or is that no?
No, that was Snooki the
Snooki,
alcoholic.
okay,
Yeah.
Snooki.
Snooki was my girl.
Yeah.
Your girl.
I like Snooki.
Yeah, I like Snooki.
Now, Janet Jackson, 50
Oh,
years old,
yes.
had a baby.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Did you
Now,
see
who
her
says it-
husband? Wow.
No.
He is just something else.
I applaud her.
Me too, honey.
Yes.
Who says you cannot have a baby at 50 years old?
He is a billionaire, Arab, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful man he is.
Oh,
he is a very
wonderful.
good-looking guy, boy, let me tell you. I don't know how she did it 50 years old. I mean, but she did it. God bless her.
Yeah,
She must have
totally.
been in such wonderful physical health.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's so iffy. You know, that's very iffy at 50. That's so dangerous.
Well, just a question. I mean, why is having a child at 50 dangerous?
Because Down syndrome, when your eggs get older, you have more chances of women having Down syndrome babies.
Really?
Yeah, and the complications arise. And when the man's older, the possibility of having an autistic child is very prevalent. So
Interesting.
yeah. So, but her husband's young and all right.
But I'm going to have to say at that point, having a child with Down syndrome, it is the biggest blessing
It is.
in the world. So to me, that is real important, that you have to be ready to have a child, because you can have a child with multiple things that could happen.
Right.
But too many times people do say, oh my gosh, did you know you were going to have a baby like that? I'm like, what, this blessing? No, I didn't. But I'm so thankful and
that you did. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. On to a little bit animal conservation news, because you know how I love my animals. Brevard County, because we've had a couple of cold days. The manatees, there's a couple of cold stress manatees that were rescued from Brevard waters.
Aww.
Yeah. And how you can tell these poor little things if you go and see them off of the little DeSoto Parkway. And there's a couple of places that you can catch them. They have white lesions and a white ring around their tail. That's what signifies that they're very stressed and need help. So I saw a video, and they had to pull out a 1,400-pound adult sea cow suffering from cold stress. I mean, even though it's just 68 degrees, but the water for them gets very cold. That's why they huddle together in plant waters. So anyway, if you ever see an animal that you think might need help, you can call 1-800-404-FWCC or the Florida Fish and Wildlife. Poor guys. Let's see. We've had 18 animals, 11 cats, and 7 dogs who got a new leash on life Thursday after they were rescued from an overcrowded shelter in Manatee County. So they were brought here to Brevard County.
Oh,
and, thank God for Wayne Ivey and the No-Kill Shelter. How I love Wayne Ivey for what he's done. Really.
He's such a good guy.
Oh, my gosh.
He
is
definitely
such a
good
wonderful
guy. Yes, he
and
is.
really cares. It's not like he's doing it for the politics. He's not. He really, truly cares in his heart. So anyway, the animals will now start a new year fresh, where the staff is confident that they will find forever loving homes. So it's just very sad, though. These poor animals are just left everywhere to die. Speaking of animals, did you hear about the story in Tampa? A family had just purchased a pit bull. Here we go. Named it Scarface. All right there would have been a red flag for me. And I would have said, you cannot own this dog. If you're going to give it that negative, violent connotation. Now, I'm not a pit bull lover by any means, but I love all animals. So what happened, I think, is the woman of the home tried to put a sweater on the dog.
Oh, dear Jesus.
And even though the dog backed away, ears pinned down, hair stood up on the back of his neck, she still ignored this poor animal's body language, and the dog just attacked her.
Wow.
They could not even get the dog off of her. They finally had to call in somebody with a tranquilizer dart gun, some kind of tranquilizer gun to put the dog, to get him out. But how unfair for the animal. And I felt so horribly for the woman. But, if you don't know how to be a responsible pet owner, just like if you don't know how to be a responsible parent, don't have children.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
You
Anyway.
don't put a sweater on a pit bull. That's a poodle. That's a...
Maybe the animal might have been very abused. They only had the animal for a month. So I don't know. It was a sad story. Anyway, it's just very sad. What else we have? We have, let's see. What are you going to do this week? Anything, Michael?
What am I going to do this week? Well, of course, I work on the weekends. Sad face. But, I got to keep a roof over my head. Actually, I'm going to be doing some stuff for FNO.
Okay.
Doing some designing and things of that nature. Darlene, what are you going to be doing this weekend?
Okay, we're going to be doing some construction at our house, and we're getting a dumpster delivered on Friday. So I'll be busy throwing stuff in dumpsters.
Anyway, I want to remind all my new listeners that we are listening to Eleanor's Elite Radio, and we are here on Talk Network Radio. You can go to my fan page, Eleanor's Elite Radio, and just click on the link, or go to www.talknetworkradio.com. And my picture's right there. Did you see it?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
beautiful.
Like front page.
It really looks cute.
Yeah.
Really looks
I love
cute.
that picture.
Yes.
That was a night that I went to, and there was a Space Coast photographer. And I don't know, I didn't have to tell him to do filtering, but that picture he really did a beautiful job. I don't know who he was. I wish I could give him props. But anyway, I want to welcome Diane Ekdahl.
Darlene.
You've been saying
I keep doing Diane.
Okay,
So
tell
sorry.
me. Let's do therapy on you.
Okay.
Well, who is Diane?
Nobody that I know or have ever really cared for. So
Oh, great.
Welcome, Darlene.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to
Please
be.
give us a little background on how you became a wellness coach and
Okay,
Please.
So my background is in a nurse For 27 years, 22 years of that, I've done critical care. My passion is working with all sorts of people, obviously. My journey to become a wellness coach, well, it started, pretty much was born and raised. My mom was very cognizant of eating healthy and putting fresh living products in our lives. But of course, as you grow up and become an adult, you go on your own journey. So it wasn't as important as I got older. But when my son was born and he has a dual diagnosis of Down syndrome and autism, I went on a journey to optimize his health and his future. So feeding organic, non-processed foods, gluten-free foods, casein-free foods, and, saw definitely a difference in his health with that. But I went through a stressful situation related to him transitioning to a school almost 2 years ago, and my health just spiraled. I ended up with some massive inflammation, some serious gastrointestinal issues. I had ulcers in my esophagus, my stomach, my small intestines. My biopsies came back with dysplasia growing, which is abnormal cells, which is usually a precursor to cancer. My C-reactive protein, which is an inflammatory marker, was should be 0 to 2. Mine was 13.19. So, my docs were like, well, we're going to watch this, and you're a walking time bomb. You're a perfect candidate for a stroke, heart attack. When you have inflammation that massive in your body just starts to break down. So anyway, a good friend recommended I do a cellular detox, clean out my body, try to alkaline my body, get it back to a place of like homeostasis.
Now, the cellular detox, is that traditional of what most detox consist of?
There's so many different detoxes out there. The one that I did was a cellular detox. I can really only speak about that one proficiently. But I know that once I started on a 10-day transformation cellular detox, and day 3, I felt a fog lift off of my head. On day 5, I was feeling so alive. I felt the best I ever felt. I told my husband I wanted to jump out of an airplane. By day 10, I had lost 8.5 pounds and 9 inches, which is not why I did it.
But it's a plus.
But it's a definite plus. But I redid the lab work because I'm a scientific cerebral brain, and I want to know the details. And my C-reactive protein, that inflammatory marker, dropped to 0.28, which is phenomenal. And I knew then that this was big. I knew my inflammation was gone by that and how I felt, but I used to have headaches. Those headaches are gone. I used to grind my teeth at night. That I don't do anymore.
So now that you're talking about all the negatives and then the positives, what exactly is the product you're talking about so we know?
Okay, so I did a line of products called Purium. It's a company that's been around for 23 years. We have over 65 products. And the science behind the products is, as a scientific person, was very impressive to me. And I, after being solicited by many people asking what I had done, I ended up losing 32 pounds and 19 inches.
Wow.
My skin looked glowing, my hair looked healthy. People noticed a big difference. I looked bright and shiny, and my energy levels were off the charts. I decided to embark on the journey of helping other people. So it'll be 2 years in March that I've been a wellness coach. I've helped over 85 people on their health and wellness journey.
So impressive.
And, part of that is, yes, the physical is important, but we know that stress can be related to emotional things, so
Totally.
Cortisol levels go up, inflammation in our body goes up. They say now most diseases, a lot of cardiovascular diseases is based on inflammation. So when I talk to someone, I really listen to see what's going on in their life, what is actually going on, because they'll say I have, fibromyalgia, or I have these other inflammatory things, but what else is going on? And I try to look at the whole person. I try to give value to someone's life. And my belief is that everybody's here for a purpose. We all have unique gifts and talents that we need to give to one another. So when I coach somebody, I'm with them there for the physical journey, but for their emotional journey. And just, I've made so many friends through this journey.
That's wonderful.
So it's extremely rewarding. And I feel like It's just another extension of my calling to be a nurse to help